Welcome to the Nerdy Dad Podcast. My name is Levi Bullard, or DM Dadbot on social media, and today we're talking to you about how to run a one shot. You might be saying, what are you talking about? What is a one shot? And a one shot is exactly that, a single shot at an adventure. It's not going to turn into a campaign, it's not going to be a multiple session thing, it's one shot at this adventure. Now, you might be saying, well, that sounds kind of boring. But there's so many factors that come into this that make it, honestly, might be more exciting than an actual campaign. We're gonna get into that a little bit later, but right now, we I all I so right now I'm with one shots. You get a lot more flexibility for character creation, more flexibility for story arcs. You can just make funny, outlandish, crazy, horrific, you know, scenes because it's not going to affect your overall campaign. If you want to make somebody who goes around and kicks people in the privates, and that's how they do their damage, I don't think a DM would be okay with that necessarily being in a campaign. In a one shot, that sounds hilarious because it's not going to affect something going on further, and it's something we can just play with in the now. This also gives you the opportunity to play different levels that maybe you have not played before. So, if you have a bunch of new players, maybe you can start them off at in between 5 to 10th level. So they're able to already have a bunch of their abilities and they can see what that type of playstyle is like. If you have some veteran players, maybe you're going to start off at 18th level, 15th level, because they may be familiar with D&D, but they may not have been able to play all the way up to those levels. Maybe they didn't have a campaign that lasted that long or encompassed that level range. One shots give you that opportunity to explore levels that you never thought possible before. My current one shot that I'm planning for Christmas is all of my players are starting at level 15. I have never even DM'd for a group that is 15. When we try to get all these players together and invest their time, whether it be that whack-ball or screwy idea to make this joke comic character, they still spent time to think about that character and to love that character. I guarantee you that they don't want to see it die. So if you're trying to make a one shot just for your excuse to be able to kill off your player's character or finally throw that way higher monster at them, please don't do it. Popular opinion on one shots is they definitely take some railroading. You can't really do a 100% sandbox game when it comes to one shots. You only have a certain amount of time to cover what window that you thought was the story, the adventure, would you say? So you need to be able to push them along. One of my tips is don't give them an oblique starting area, start them on a path. You find yourself walking through the forest. Dim light is brushing through the canopy. You hear birds chirping. You guys have been walking for 3 hours, and you suddenly stumble across a broken down wagon with three halflings alongside of it that eagerly jump up when they see you. What do you do? It's a lot better than starting off your players at, alright, you guys are in a tavern. You guys have all met each other and are an adventuring party group. So, what do you guys do? You see how there's not many options or not much you can see in the second one, whereas the initial option actually gives you a direction to go in, but still gives you the player agency to decide, I'm not going to talk to these guys later. One shots also do still need a bit of storytelling. You need to make sure that your adventure flows cohesively. When your players start going through and at the end it's some random monster that there's no way they would have seen coming or doesn't fit in the atmosphere or environment that you're in, they're going to sit there and be like, what the heck is this? Whereas instead, if you're in a jungle environment or a swampy environment and you have a green dragon, or should I say a black dragon, they'll understand that. It makes sense. But to put a troll in a monastery doesn't necessarily make sense there. I mean, it could, but that probably wasn't the best option for me to go with. But you guys understand what I'm talking about when it comes to that. So remember, you have more flexibility with one shots. You can do things that you weren't able to normally do as long as you keep it in a confined environment and you don't just start hurting everybody else's fun at the table. You can play levels that you've never played before. You can experience part of the game that is there for you to play with, but you've just never been able to get the campaign for. And for you need some amount of railroading. You might need to help your players along, give them that helping hand to say, "Come here, walk down this path. Don't go this way." Until next time, guys, what do you guys want to see as far as D&D content? Or do you want completely other content altogether? Let me know in the comments below.